Life is full of mystery. We don't know much about our past, and we have no idea what tomorrow may bring. Honestly, for the last 2 years, I finally realized what no news is good news means. No matter how we may fear the future will come. But let me ask you a question. Is the future really unknown? I mean, you must have heard about Nostradamus, right? 2 years ago, when the pandemic just started, our team decided to run a simple search of the word plague in Nostradamus' book of prophecy. In just seconds, 26 prophecies jumped out of the 942 quatrains book. In those 26 quatrains, it talked about how it started at a twin city, but was put out by steel. Wuhan got its name when two cities, Wucheng and Hankou, merged to one. And the pandemic was put out by China's iron fist. Then it talked about boat tossed in the sea. I mean, come on. Boats are supposed to be in the sea. But the same quatrain talked about honor, which is what we call princess, right? And cruise ships were tossed at sea and not allowed to dock. Check out our books on Amazon or search for our prior released videos. We got it back in March 2020. We even pointed out the monster mutation in northern Italy and how the plague in England would become a problem for the world. I don't know how Nostradamus knew, but I know how many of you considered me crazy. You can hardly find one corner of the earth without COVID today. But Nostradamus only mentioned the plague in 26 quatrains. Does that mean he failed in predicting the pandemic? Actually, other than the Wuhan quatrain, it talked mostly about countries hit by the first wave, while the USA and the UK were hidden in two puzzles. I think Nostradamus tried to warn us about the virus. He knew the only way it could be stopped is if we stopped it at the first wave. After that, there is no way to stop it. Solve the puzzle? How dare we say that? We don't understand French, and the English translation is far from perfect. But we for sure got what Nostradamus tried to tell us. Because in these 26 quatrains, he mentioned many cities. When you mark those on a map, you will see clusters in Italy, Spain, France, and Germany. However, Nostradamus also mentioned cities in Turkey and Greece. I could not understand back in March 2020. However, Turkey now ranks number 6 with 8 million infected, and Greece has suffered terrible wildfires during the pandemic peak, and its infected and deaths both are climbing up against the overall COVID trends. So you see, even a good decoder may only understand part of the prophecy. But as events unfold, a more complete picture will appear. Like the never wrong Chinese 1300-year-old prophecy Tui Bei Tu. It has predicted every major Chinese event in extreme great detail. However, the clues were hidden in such ways that you would not get the true meanings until afterwards. Unlike Nostradamus' book of prophecy, Tui Bei Tu follows a strict timeline. No one, other than our team, has decoded current and future events following the timeline. Poem 39 correctly predicted World War II, its outcome in the year that Japan would surrender. Poem 40 talked about how China would be broken up into 3 parts: China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. It predicted how the communist Chinese will win. It hid Mao's name, second-in-command Zhu Enlai's name, Chiang Kai-shek's name, and the 3 Taiwan presidents' name all in the poem. Of course, it predicted the end of the Republic of China, which is the part of the puzzle unsolved. Poem 41 talked about Hong Kong. It hid the name of Deng Xiaoping and even predicted Deng will die when Hong Kong is turned back. It even talked about how the one country, two laws policy leads to future chaos. Poem 42 talked about the U.S.'s involvement in Northeast Asia, how the Korean War helped stabilize Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, how U.S. stations in Korea. We said before Tui Bei Tu followed strict timeline, so no one figured out poems after 40. However, ROC in Taiwan, Hong Kong's resistance to be fully integrated, and Korea tensions are all concurrent events. So Tui Bei Tu used 3 poems to describe these events, which happened concurrently during the last 70 years. 3 years ago in 2018, another event happened, which became another concurrent historical event. The arrest of Meng Wanzhou in Canada started the U.S. and China trade war. We decoded and published it 3 months after Meng's arrest. On February 3, 2019, we pointed to how Meng's name, her father's name, and the mention of a child outside the country were all indicated in the poem. Although Meng is now released, the trade war is still ongoing. When we realized Poem 43 is about the trade war, we thought Poem 44 may tell us the result of the trade war. We released Poem 44 decoding 3 days after 43. On 2/3/2019, we found names of many Asian countries in Poem 44, and Wen's name is there again. So we predicted that Huawei will survive, and there will be some kind of international alliance between China and the surrounding countries, which may be the key on how it survives the trade war. 2 years later, we found we were right when many Asian countries signed the RCEP agreement. What's shocking is that we found names of all 16 countries in the 44-word poem. Wow. The trade war started December 2018. The RCEP was signed in November 2020. So Poem 45 should happen soon, right? Many believe this poem is about World War III, as it shows weapons and fighting in the picture, and mentions fiery fate the whole world share. What else could it be? We published videos about this and pointed out that Japan should be the one fighting against China, as sun was mentioned in the poem and shown in the picture. However, we realize the sun looks very much like the coronavirus, and the world indeed has fought together against this common enemy. As shown in the picture, so could this be the coronavirus? I hope this is about the coronavirus, because we can't have another war on top of all of our other misery. However, this can mean a war to break out while we are suffering through the pandemic. Look, the picture clearly shows 2 countries fighting together against the sun. 3 years ago, we threw out the thought of maybe it means China and Korea, or China and Taiwan. But both are unlikely, not only because there seems no possibility for such an alliance, but also because there is no time to form such an alliance. You see, this will happen very soon. So how can China form an alliance with Korea or Taiwan? But events that happened just last week show us how close we are to a third world war. Have you heard about China and Russia's joint Navy exercise? A huge fleet from both powerful navies sailing between Japan's northern and main islands. Will war break out? I don't know. I heard Japan is having the biggest military exercises since World War II. And it is also considering lifting laws banning use of force. Will this lead to more conflict? World War III? Well, what seemed impossible even 3 months ago seems possible now. We now have two countries pointing weapons towards the sun. The too unlikely alliance is Russia and China. Does that mean poem 45 is not about the coronavirus? No. It mentions the coronavirus in the first word of the long poem, calling that fire on fire, which is the word for infection. Is this prophecy about World War III? Or the possibility of World War III breaking out during the COVID pandemic? So, is this a warning? In a way, this prophecy already got fulfilled. Please note the two soldiers pointed the weapon toward the sun, but we did not see the actual blood battle. But 3 months ago, who would even think China and Russia would hold a joint Navy war game and sailing around Japan? But now they have pointed weapons against Japan. 3 years ago, we pointed for a possible reason for the fight might be about a land dispute, because a poem mentioned 4 of China's 5 elements of nature: metal, wood, water, and fire. The only one missing is earth, or the land. While Russia and China both have had heated disputes regarding land with Japan. What may happen? We can dig in more in this prophecy and also check it against Nostradamus' prophecy. But that will be another decoding on another day. This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching.